It's the wrong intro. Sorry. Yeah, that's pretty cool, right?
That
Very
was
epic.
pretty neat. Yes.
Yes, very epic.
Yes, lots of lens flare. I could
Yes.
just see the lens flare.
Yes, that's what happens when you enter the Kelvin universe. What's up, everybody? We are very excited to have you guys here with us as we explore the new worlds of the Kelvin timeline. One of the movies that surprised me when I saw it, because I don't know, maybe I had lower expectations when I went in, but I really, overall enjoyed the movie. It's a good reboot.
Yes, we are, of course, talking about Star Trek 2009, the only movie that's just called Star Trek.
Yeah, even the motion picture was called The Motion Picture.
Yes. Just Star Trek. It's like Star Trek the what? Star Trek.
Star Trek the
Star Trek what? Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Star Trek. Star Trek.
Star Trek. Well, let's hop into the synopsis.
Very well. The brash James T. Kirk tries to live up to his father's legacy, with Mr. Spock keeping him in check as a vengeful Romulan from the future creates black holes to destroy the Federation one planet at a time.
Certainly what happens.
Serious.
Yeah, sounds deadly. We are going to go ahead and say hello to our patrons, because it is, after all, the beginning of the show. We honor you, Holly Mack, our transgressor, Jonas Borg, Holly Mack, 79, we honor you, and of course, our conspirator,
Yes.
Denise, D-Nice. Thank you so much for becoming a patron. Again, we honor you, Holly Mack, 79, and Joannes Borg. He will assimilate you. All right, your shirt's on the way, and your stickers coming too. So those are being made, so you're going to be getting those pretty soon. They get to wear Captain Squadron threads. It's going to be pretty dope. Well, let's get into First Contact.
Thanks.
Still kind of want him to respond. You're welcome.
He responded in my extended cut.
There was a lot that went down in that extended cut.
Yes, there was.
It's available.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. All right. Well, what's your first contact with Star Trek?
I saw Star Trek 09 in 2009 in this amazing theater in Dallas called the Inwood, which is this old antique theater from like the 1930s or 40s. They had redone all the interior, and they made them into these really nice movie palaces with like couches and beds and bean bags and everything. So I got to watch this movie, and this movie had me from the first scene, to be completely 100% transparent. As soon as we watched the girl from House give birth to Thor's baby, and then
and this is how I met your mother.
The guy who is in charge of the 10 rings gets killed by the Incredible Hulk. There were lots of Marvel actors in this movie. But yeah, the dude from the 10 rings was the captain.
Oh wow, you're right.
Hulk. Thor was in charge of the USS Kelvin.
Wow.
And then then of course, good Chris Pine was he was Steve Trevor, not Marvel, and we don't like to talk about that a whole lot. But also our friend Carl Urban was in Thor Ragnarok. Zoe Saldana was, of course, famously Gamora.
Yes.
And
oh my God, this is Marvel heavy.
So this was a very Marvel heavy movie, if you really think about it. I'm sure that there's probably more I'm thinking about. Was John Cho in a Marvel movie? I don't think John Cho's been in a Marvel movie. Not yet. He needs to be in one. I think he would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I as soon as that scene played, and as soon as that shuttle, you see the train of shuttles leaving the area where the Narada is just listing next to the sun, and that big bombastic Michael Giacchino score plays, and you just see Star Trek come out of the stars, I was just like, yes, this is what I want. I know that it is trendy nowadays to hate on the Kelvin movies.
That's a bad thing.
But this movie is good. This
It
movie is good, and if you disagree, you are free to have your completely incorrect opinion.
All right. I gotta say this. I agree. This is probably one of the best openings of a Star Trek movie ever, in my opinion. The humbling size of the behemoth that is the Narada is just crazy, and the Kelvin ship looked like a little bit. He's just like, oh, that was a waste. But he did save everybody. So let us go into pros and cons.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
I missed that. Well,
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. All right, what are your pros and cons?
Well, my pros, of course, is that I think that as a quote unquote reboot, I think that the idea is brilliant. Because a lot of the times people have problems with reboots because it basically just tosses everything out the window and says nothing that happened before this matters. Now we're going to go in this direction. The way that the 2009 Star Trek movie unravels is that this is not just a reboot, it is a sequel, because we have Leonard Nimoy coming over. We have him coming over from the Prime timeline. So all of our friends, from Kirk and his crew to Picard to Sisko to Janeway, all of them existed. All of them are there. They are still there. And of course, eventually when Discovery came along, it went back to the Prime timeline. I know a lot of people are saying, well, Discovery's its own timeline. No, you're wrong and you're a moron. Be quiet. It is Prime. That's what they said. Whenever the people who make the show say it's the Prime timeline, it is the Prime damn timeline. So just stop talking. But I really thought that the idea was quite wonderful. I think the casting was largely spot on. Carl Urban, for example, was just perfect as Bones. There is a story that Leonard Nimoy was on the set, and he was either watching the performance or he was watching the playback of the performance, and apparently at one point Leonard Nimoy started weeping because Carl Urban reminded him so much of DeForest Kelley that it just caused Leonard Nimoy just to get emotional because he was really good friends with DeForest Kelley.
Oh.
Some actors, they do not look like their counterparts. They don't really act like their counterparts, but my goodness, they really brought a lot of personality into the role. So Simon Pegg, for example, I don't think that he was doing an impression of Scotty.
No, he's just being himself.
He certainly made that part his own. And it's the same thing with, I would even argue, Chris Pine. I don't think Chris Pine was channeling Shatner.
No, not
but
at all.
He did make the part his own.
Yeah.
There was one part whenever he was channeling Shatner, and it's whenever him and Spock get on board the jellyfish, and Spock is trying to get answers, and Pine turns to him at one point and goes, "Spock." I think right there, that was Chris Pine trying to do a Shatner impression.
I also felt like he was doing Shatner when he was doing the Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. More pros, because I said I really enjoy this movie.
Right.
I do like how they beefed up Uhura's role in this movie, made her more important, more thirsty for, just a more hungry person. Somebody who's got a little bit more ambition, because as much as I absolutely adore Nichelle Nichols, Uhura was set dressing most of the time. It was really great to see them give her more of a personality, make her more assertive. I'm going to get to some cons. I'm sure I'll say some more. Eric Bana, by the way, was outstanding. By the way,
oh, he was such a good bad guy.
Who has not sat there at one point, gotten mad, and said, "Fire everything"?
Yeah.
Okay. Cons is there's a lot of the aesthetics of the Kelvin universe that I just cannot vibe with. The fact that the bridge looks like an overlit Apple store, I just never have cared for. It was too sterile, too unwelcoming, and it could have easily been fixed with just a little bit more color. Bring in some of those oranges from the original set. Bring in a few blacks on the background panels. You know, I think it could have easily been fixed, but no, J.J. Abrams was so determined to make this future look bright, clean, and bright. And that brings me to my next con, of course, is I did not mind the lens flare as much as everybody else did.
Really?
But it was a lot. And it became overused at one point. I remember watching the director's commentary on the Blu-ray back whenever I still bought Blu-rays, and I miss buying Blu-rays, by the way. But during the scene where Spock is telling Kirk and Scotty, you know, good luck as they're getting ready to transwarp beam to the Enterprise, and he does this, J.J. Abrams says there's an alternate cut where he has a lens flare coming between his fingers.
Oh,
and
really?
he said, he said, as much as I liked the shot, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I could not put a lens flare there. So I'm just like, you know what? That would have been that's good, because we probably would have skinned you alive if you'd done that. I quite honestly do not like the Kelvin Enterprise.
Really?
I don't. She's gangly and she is out of proportion. The nacelles are too voluptuous, I guess. And I just did not. She just does not look as balanced as the original. I see the old Enterprise. I see the Connie refit, and I'm just like, you can't improve on this. And then they tried, and I'm just like, no, you didn't improve on it. It's not good. I don't like it. I'm not saying she's an ugly ship, but there are lots of things that bother me about it. One of which is the way that the neck rests on the secondary hull, because to me it seems like it's too far back, and it's like the deflector dish is sticking too far out, and I've never liked that. It just bothers me. It bothers me so much. But, you know, the Enterprise, the Enterprise, the original Enterprise, she was my lady. There, look, it's too far back, and the back of the neck stretches too far back, and I just don't like it. It's out of proportion.
Gotcha. Lens fair.
Yeah. I'm talking a very long time, but sorry, like I said, I really like this movie.
No.
I'm going to talk a lot.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, by the third movie, the Enterprise gets worse. It gets worse. And I'm not talking about the A. I actually think that the A fixes a lot of the problems that I had with the Kelvin Enterprise. But they changed the model for Beyond.
Really?
And made like the nacelle struts and the neck really thin and spindly. Because I was watching the movie, I was like, what is wrong with this Enterprise? It looks so different, but I couldn't figure out what it was. And yeah, apparently they wanted to make the Enterprise look more vulnerable. I think it was a weird decision, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't need to talk about Beyond right now. We will get into that wonderful movie later. What was the other thing I was going to say, Joe? You got me off topic. Never mind. Be quiet. Anyway, yeah, there's just some, the brewery engine room.
Oh yeah, that was kind of cool.
No, it's not. It's not cool.
Like
you want to know what the engine room looked like to me?
A brewery?
A brewery. And there's no better example than that one scene where Kirk goes to get Uhura for the first time, and she's working down in the bowels of the ship, and they're next to those big containers. Number one, what are those containers, and why are they there? And two, you're just projecting light on them. We can tell. We can see where the light's being projected on them. There was no reason that should have been filmed there. It was just, it's just not good. Yeah, the aesthetic look of this. Shut up, Teddy. The aesthetic look of this movie just didn't vibe with me. And I'm not even going to talk about the Narada, how stupid the inside of the Narada was.
I don't know.
All of the platforms where they just have to like jump back and forth. I'm just like, What if they hit something and everybody falls off their platform and dies?
I never thought about it that way.
Incidentally, Will
Did some-
Wheaton
Well,
has a
he's-
cameo in this movie.
What?
He does. He is one of the voices on the Narada that reports De Niro.
No way! I never.
There you
knew
go.
that.
There's your fun factoid. Will Wheaton is in this movie.
Wheaton. Oh, that's so
Wheaton!
cool. I had no
It's
idea.
just Wesley jumping back and forth through the timeline. He accidentally knocks somebody out, and he's like, "Oh no, everything's fine here, Mr. Nero. I need to get out of here.
I
Need to go
never
mess
knew
with those
that.
kids on the Prodigy again."
Wow, all these years, and I had the experience and the delight of seeing this in IMAX, and it was one of those movies that was actually in IMAX. And of course, the menacing Narada when it came out, I was like, oh, it's like they took pieces of the ship from Nemesis and made it elongated and menacing. I didn't think that the Enterprise should have had a chance against this ship, even though it was a mining ship, not so much anything for exploration or war. It was mainly just for drilling and destroying bits. But one of the coolest scenes by far in all of Star Trek is when the bridge, the captain, Sulu, and Sir, I'm gonna die, and because I'm too
Red shirt.
red shirt. When red shirt
He's
goes
wearing
down,
red. Yes.
yeah, he is. Yeah, and they start throwing down on that mining platform. I thought that was the coolest. And seeing that in IMAX, there's this giant, the music score and the sound of the thing going and just burrowing into Vulcan, and then the destruction of Vulcan. I thought these were pros rather, that I thought were just epic. I truly felt like it was a movie event.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but the destruction of Vulcan was
Woo.
ballsy.
It was.
It was super ballsy.
And I like that they kind of kept that in the future, because when Discovery came, it's Navarre, it's not Vulcan, because Vulcan's gone. But
nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
You're talking prime timeline, and the prime timeline, Romulus is gone.
Right.
Vulcan's still there. How dare you?
But no, because they destroy Vulcan in this timeline, and Vulcan doesn't exist anymore, right?
You're talking the Kelvin timeline. Discovery takes place in the prime timeline where Vulcan still exists, because Navarre was Vulcan.
Oh.
You don't pay attention to the shows.
I do pay attention to the show.
No, you don't, because if you did, you would know this.
But I thought because of the events of 09, it's still like, and
okay.
So, but Romulus. Is still
imagine me in a Doc Brown uniform. Okay. All right. So, Marty, this is the prime timeline, and here is the Kelvin timeline. Right here, Vulcan is destroyed, but right here, it doesn't get destroyed. Romulus gets destroyed, so they don't ever meet. Here in the year 3000,
oh, okay.
Vulcan is still here. Romulus isn't still here. All right, there you go, Marty.
Oh, that's what it is.
The DeLorean, and pay attention next time.
Well, yeah, I thought it was crazy that they blew up that planet. And what did they call New Vulcan? Did they get a New Vulcan?
They called it New Vulcan. Yes.
Oh, they didn't call it Navarre?
Nope, they called it New Vulcan.
Okay. Well, I thought it was cool. And now I found this picture, and I want to know, because you're the guru of the two of us, is this truly the concept of what the Enterprise 09 was going to be?
I believe it is, because I think I saw that in a Eagle Moss book with the concept art, which, to be honest, again, I don't mind this one, but the neck is just put too far back on the secondary hull, and just it's weird.
Yeah.
It throws the entire vibe of the ship off.
I mean, I feel like this ultimately is the best version, believe it or not.
Is it though?
If the neck was further up, you think it would be perfect?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I don't.
There's nothing that can change this.
I have a wide variety of reasons why I don't like the Kelvin Enterprise, but whatever those reasons are, I can definitely say she at least gets uglier as the movies go on.
She gets worse. No matter how much you drink, she doesn't get any better looking.
She gets uglier until finally the swarm takes her apart, and I'm just watching it going, oh, good for them.
But it gets rebuilt, doesn't it? And it's like the same.
It doesn't get rebuilt, but the Enterprise A is a much better looking ship. I think the cell struts are a little weird on it, but it balances itself out a lot more. The nacelles are smaller. The secondary hull problem is mitigated.
I mean, it's still better than the old fashioned ghetto prize, where the
Is it though?
You'd rather the ghetto prize?
You do know what the concept for the first draft of the 09 reboot was, right?
No,
that it did not feature the Kelvin.
Oh,
it featured the classic TOS Enterprise.
Oh, that'd have been cool.
Under the command of Captain Robert April and First Officer George Kirk.
Oh.
And in this draft, it's the original Enterprise that gets intercepted and destroyed. And when Paramount saw this, and the new Enterprise was going to be the Enterprise A, when Paramount saw this, like, you cannot blow up the Enterprise. And I'm like, where was that energy in the third movie?
Look at it going! It's on fire!
Yeah. I also like what the producers said that never made it into the movie. That the reason why the new Enterprise looks the way it does is because the Kelvin made scans of the Narada, and all of the technology they learned about from the scans was integrated into their new systems. And so their ships were made bigger, the aesthetics were made bigger. So basically the Enterprise of the Kelvin universe is a match of like a Galaxy class ship.
Oh, wow.
So it was just like a quantum leap of technology. Oh, wow. Yeah. But that never made it into any of the movies. And so now it's just like, yeah, they look different because they just look different. That's also why we have like transwarp beaming. It's not that it's suddenly this new technology. It's that Scotty has access to technology that Prime Scotty never had access to. And so of course he's going to figure out things because he's freaking Scotty.
Yeah.
He's going to figure out things that the other Scotty couldn't because Scotty just didn't have the tools.
Yeah. And I saw Kitty's making it. Is that Battle Cat?
This is the Mighty Battle Cat, yes.
Oh, wow.
She's getting her snoodle booped.
Oh. One of the other pros that I had for this movie, of course, was Sulu. I felt Sulu did a lot more. He really got to sword fight properly and whooped some serious butt, which I truly enjoyed. I really liked
continuity also. Had given him a rapier instead of a instead of a different weapon. Sword.
Yeah.
Loved the continuity there.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty dope. I loved Chekhov. May he rest in peace. Anton Yelchin?
Anton Yelchin, yes.
Yeah, Anton Yelchin, yeah. It's just I'm terrible with pronunciation. But I thought he was fantastic. I really would have appreciated Khan picking him up in the sequel, but we'll get into that when we get there. I also really enjoyed, though you hated the ship, I love Spock's ship.
The jellyfish was cool.
Yeah.
In Apocrypha, do you know who designed the jellyfish?
I do not.
Geordi LaForge.
Geordi LaForge
built
comic.
Geordi LaForge built the jellyfish.
That's right. And the red matter I thought was a cool weapon / technology that kind of set up the whole universe, basically.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She's purring into my microphone, so everybody's hearing my cat be happy. Oh. She's just going up there going.
Yeah, so I mean, 09 is a fantastic film. I thought the pacing was great. The lens flare is a bit much. That's one of my cons. It's always going to be a con. It's just like sometimes I'm in the movie theater going, I want to see a movie, not your lens flare. I like the use of the brewery. I thought that was clever, and probably saved them a lot of money instead of building another set. So I appreciate that. I know you're not a fan, but it just seems like a submarine. Not that I've
looks like a warehouse.
No, it looked like a submarine.
Big, empty, inefficient warehouse.
It looked like a submarine, like Hunt for Red October.
Big, empty, inefficient submarine.
We all live in it. Anyway.
Come on, they could have fit another starship in that building.
That was quite large. It was pretty big. But I guess you wanted to showcase the scale of the largest. So that was the the ship at that time.
So we need to build gigantic starships so we can have this full empty hangar in the middle of the primary hull for absolutely no reason.
Yeah. And Deep Roy makes a cameo in this.
Love Deep Roy. I love Keenser.
Yeah, that's a great character.
Again, Apocrypha in the Kelvin universe is my favorite because Keenser was an outcast among his people because he was too tall.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's hilarious. It's so tall.
It's just a little bean. Look at you. You can eat one bean and you'd be fine.
Do you have any food? Let's see. The Nero was a great villain. Of course, they almost sacrificed Pike in this one, but
they'll never kill off Pike.
Well,
never.
Okay.
And if they did, it would at least mean something. It wouldn't be used as just a vengeance subplot. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah,
I don't like all the Kelvin.
Again, it would have been good if April would have shown up. That would have been cool if they would have had.
Or if they'd kept the original draft, he would have.
Yeah,
for a little bitty while.
Yeah, that would have been kind of cool to have him pop up in the movie. Also, I believe that having Spock, that interaction at the end, when Kelvin Spock, Zachary Quinto goes, "Father," and Nimoy turns around
and goes, "Bitch, what?"
Yeah, I ain't that old. I am not our father. I just love that interaction between the two of them, and I love the little joke. It was like, you lied to Kirk. It's like, no, I didn't lie.
I implied.
Yeah, I love that whole interaction was just beautiful, and a lot of
this movie has got so many deep and genuinely emotional beats to it. Not only that one that you just described, and not only the conversation between George and his wife, but right before the Kelvin explodes. But I really enjoy the aftermath of Amanda's death. Not, I want to enjoy it, but I mean, I'm just like, she did. No, I love I love to see how it affects Spock, and I love that scene when Spock is in the transporter room and he's just looking at that pad. And Sarek comes in and says, "Do you know why I married your mother?" "Yes, it was logical that you would that your marriage would strengthen ties with Earth." He goes, "No, I married your mother because I loved her." That was such a good scene. I love that scene so much.
He passed away too, if I'm not
mistaken. He did. He passed away, I think last year.
Oh, last year. Wow. COVID?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I was really surprised because
Me too.
He seemed like a young guy.
Yeah, he didn't seem that old. Yeah. Oh. And another fantastic scene in that movie, which some people I know probably didn't like, and it was used in the marketing when young Kirk was driving the cat is like frozen on my side, so it's just this tail. But when he drives that really nice Mustang off the cliff, and they're using sabotage, which is ongoing.
The 1966 Mustang, because they're jettisoning things that were made in 1966.
Oh, that was something I missed.
Yes.
Are you surprised? Don't comment about that. But yeah, I just love that whole scene. I thought that was really cool. He
I like that too. I really hate everything that they cut from it, because you learn why he's stealing the car and everything. And the young man who's on the side of the road, who's hitchhiking for absolutely no reason, in the deleted scene, that is Sam Kirk.
His brother?
Because Sam Kirk is running away from home because their stepdad is a complete jerk.
Oh wow!
And the car was George Kirk's car, and the stepdad basically took ownership of it, and so that's why Jim stole the car and drove it off a cliff, because he didn't want the stepdad to have it anymore.
Wow, they should have kept that in there. It would have been 5.
I agree.
5 minutes more. I wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah, come on. We would have watched it 5 minutes. No, if the movie's 5 minutes more, we may not make more money at the theater. No, shut up.
I would have done well.
It was great. I liked it.
It was great. This is the first time that I saw a Star Trek movie that had fan interaction as well. I had been going to see the Star Trek movies since 3 or 4. What's the one with the whales, maybe? And every time they would come out, it was my mom, my friend Renee, and myself that would go and see it would be a long journey because like we didn't have a car at the time, so we'd have to take the bus, and the bus from the movie theater as far as like 2 hours. Anyway, so this is the one where I'm solo. I'm going with my friends actually to see the movie because my mother was disabled at this time. She couldn't really walk around, so it was kind of disheartening. But I did go and see it, and people were cheering, and there was this really big dude clapping. You gotta clap for her, yeah! And he was like really cheering people on. I was like, wow, this is gonna be a big, big money winner for them because I haven't seen fan interaction in Star Trek like this before, and it was cool. And when Spock's mom died, there was somebody in the movie that went, oh, she died. So that was really cool. It was really interesting to get so much out of the fans because they did such a good job of really emotionally connecting you to the characters.
They did, yeah.
And I think that's why they deserve a 4th film to bow out gracefully and at least match the TNG number of movies. At least,
yeah, it's just not as bad as the last TNG movie.
I mean, Into Darkness. Even though
as bad as Nemesis.
No, Nemesis is better. I'm sorry, but I don't know because Peter Weller in Into Darkness was amazing. But we'll get into that when we get into that movie next month.
I like Bing Bong Cumberbund, but he was
Bing Bong Cumberbund.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about Beatrice Bandersnatch later.
Beatrice Bandersnatch. And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Medea being the Starfleet.
Most random cameo ever.
Yeah, it was like, why is Medea here?
I didn't recognize Tyler Perry at first, and it was like it wasn't until he shows up at the end of the movie. I was just the people I was with. I was just like, freaking Medea.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it was Medea.
Yeah, it was Medea. All right, Kirk, you heard? Holler.
Tyler Perry was not a Star Trek fan. And he did it because he did the cameo because J.J. Abrams asked him to.
Really?
And so he did the cameo. He'd never seen a Star Trek movie before. And then after he did the cameo, he went and watched some Star Trek movies. And the last movie he saw was Star Trek Nemesis. And he said, and I quote, had I seen Star Trek Nemesis before I said yes, I wouldn't have said yes.
Wow. Damn it, man.
So even Tyler Perry, who's arguably one of the worst screenwriters to ever exist, hates Nemesis.
Screw you, Tyler Perry.
And this is the man who wrote
a lot.
Take your pick. Take your pick. The only one I really liked was Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and that was it had none of the Medea stuff. I'm talking about the other stuff, which was
yeah.
The rest of his movies are garbage, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Not so.
No, it's fine. It's fine. All right. Well, let's fire at will. We'll randomly go into things.
Fire at will.
All right. Well, since they split the universe in this and opened up a whole new storytelling apparatus, did you think that there were certain other TOS or Star Trek movies that they could have touched and would have been a service to the franchise?
I would have loved to have seen a big budget version of the Doomsday Machine.
Agreed.
I think the Doomsday Machine would have been really good. An update of Operation Annihilate would have been really interesting. I wouldn't have even minded a return to the City on the Edge of Forever. Now, I don't know. It would have to be a really good script and not a carbon copy. It would have to do something different this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a number of episodes that I think would have been good. Balance of Terror would have been really good.
Balance of Terror would have been fantastic. And
yeah, Balance of Terror.
And they could have used the same guy as Spock's dad to play the Romulan.
Oh, sure. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been great.
Would have been absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I mean, there were tons of episodes they could have milked. If they do a 4th film, though, I don't want them to do that. I want them to come up with something I want them to come up with something special and original. I want to, because I have gotten to where I care about this version of the Star Trek crew. I do.
Okay.
And especially after losing Anton Yelchin way too young. I mean,
Yeah.
that was devastating
Yeah,
whenever
and it
he
was
passed away. Not only because of his
Picard.
contribution to Star Trek, but Anton Yelchin was just a terrific actor all around. Odd Thomas is one of my favorite horror
That's a good movie.
comedies.
Yeah,
I
that's a good
absolutely adore that movie.
Yeah, it's Teddy's Handlers, one of her favorites. She used to have the poster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess she would need, some primer on how to handle things that escape from hell if she's going to babysit Teddy. But anyway, but I would like to see something. It doesn't even have to be big and bombastic. I wouldn't mind seeing a more thoughtful, cerebral Kelvin movie where basically the children are leaving. Chekhov has gone to be the first officer on the Reliant, and I don't know if they can't afford Zoe Saldana anymore. Uhura has gone off to, be the
captain,
the head of communications at Starfleet. I'd like to see more Jayla, to be honest, in a fourth movie. I think that it really would be fun to see her as an ensign. But I don't know. I would like to see like all of the children are leaving the nest story.
Yeah.
And just have that, and of course bring them up and have them in the Monster Maroons.
Oh,
love to see them in the Monster Maroons.
Kelvin
Don't change the Monster Maroons though. Don't change them stupidly. Don't do anything dumb with them. Just like give us the Monster Maroons with the Kelvin crew.
All the Monster Maroons will have lens flares coming off.
Yeah. And personally, I wouldn't mind seeing some kind of crossover with the Prime universe.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
Maybe that would be it, is that, a character or two characters or the Enterprise G from the Prime universe crosses over, and they basically tell them, oh, hey, we're you're wrong. This is all wrong. And because basically the Kelvin universe knows they're an alternate universe, but they've really never touched on it since then. And that has got to be kind of a mind screw if you think about it. That the only reason why we exist is because somebody messed up the timeline from what it should have been.
Right. Yeah,
So,
he does realize, because he's like, oh, when he speaks to Spock, he's like, oh, how did I talk about my father? It's like, oh, you admired your father and he got you into Starfleet.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's not what happened in reality here. Yeah, that's right. They do know.
I wouldn't mind seeing. I totally would not mind seeing some kind of personal effect that this has on Kirk and Spock and McCoy. How would you feel if you knew that you were going to live to be 150 years old, like McCoy would?
Yeah.
How would you feel if, your life went south because your dad died and he wasn't supposed to?
Right.
That would really mess people up. And I would love to see that. And basically, in the movie, and it doesn't even have to be like characters in the Kelvin universe. Maybe they find a starship that's wrecked, that's from the Prime timeline, and they go in and they look at the computers and like, oh wait, we aren't supposed to be seeing any of this.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Too late. It's like the cat is out of the bag.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think that would be really interesting. Don't make it like big budget. Make it like modest, because we don't need to spend $200 million to make a movie. We don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see something thoughtful, something that means something.
Yeah.
These characters. If we're going to sail them off into the sunset, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
And I want to see a Kelvin. I want to see a Kelvin Excelsior also.
It would be super beefy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome. It'd be amazing.
I would like to see them kind of come to terms with everything, but I would like to see them close the timeline, because this fourth movie's been in development hell for so long. These guys are going to be as old as the original series crew by the time they make the movie.
Hey,
so they might as well just make it
Monster Maroons.
Yeah.
I have to disagree, though. I don't think that they need to close the timeline.
Really?
I think that they should continue on. And just say, the human adventure continues, and no matter what timeline you're in, don't end the timeline. It's fine. It's just going off and doing its own thing.
Interesting. Because I heavily feel that Strange New Worlds is going to start to softly reboot the TOS.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well, that's because of all the time travelers. They've already said that. That's the reason why Strange New Worlds looks different. It's because of all the time travelers messing up the timeline.
Interesting.
I love that. I love that in that Khan episode where they find like little baby Khan.
Oh
they
yeah,
just basically,
Tomorrow,
just basically said, "Oh yeah, all the time travelers and stuff. It's always messing up the timeline." So yeah, it was supposed to take place in 1996. Now it's getting moved back. It's so weird.
Yeah.
How would you like that? Like the Revolutionary War was supposed to take place in 1776, but now it's taking place in 1820. Isn't that weird? Stupid time travelers.
Why you guys got to mess up the Boston Tea Party? Oh man. Yeah. I mean, overall, I still think it would be interesting to like them want to fix the timeline and make everything the way it was and experience the experiences of the original crew. I think it would be a good concept for them to try and close the timeline, just to go back and get Nero again. Just because I want to see Nero one more time. He's a badass bad guy.
Try to close the timeline, but whenever they're there, they realize that they are the best people that they can be, and they don't need to do that.
Oh, okay.
We have had our own experiences. We've had experiences the other crew hasn't. We are our own people. We are doing our own thing. We don't need to stop existing whenever we can just keep going.
Okay.
I think that would be such a great way to end it.
That's a poignant ending for sure. Would Spock?
Not every movie needs an explosion at the end.
I never said anything about explosions.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to them.
Oh yeah, that's true. They do want to. Star Trek 4, directed by Michael Bay. Boom, boom, boom.
See, now Zoe Saldana would stay a million miles away from that. I am not going to be ogled by a camera in slow motion while Aerosmith plays.
Oh man, yeah. I forgot about that. Ugh, not good for the old movement. Anyway,
Lieutenant, do you want to know what an animal cracker is? Mr. Spock, what are you doing? I'm attempting to be romantic. Is it succeeding? No, it's weird. I see. That is terrible.
It's the worst cracker ever. Well,
it is supposed to be a cracker, but it is sweet like a cookie. This is illogical.
That's going to wrap it up for us. If you are a Patreon, you can go ahead and join the ranks of the three wondrous people. Our good buddy Johannes Borg, our good friend Holly Mac 79. And of course, many thanks to you, Denise, D-Nice. You guys are wonderful. You're going to be
bug I've ever seen.
Cute. He's so cute. Let's put that back up. Isn't that cute?
You usually don't see him. They're usually coming up behind you. But he's cute. I like him.
He's cute.
Looks like a weird Lilo and Stitch character.
It does. Maybe
Ohana means family. Oh.
Well, that's great. That's going to wrap it up for us this week. If you are a Patreon member, you're going to be getting a few special for your eyes only paid members. We're going to talk about some of our experiences meeting some of the cast of Star Trek. And for those of you that are going to be joining Trek Long Island, you definitely want to check us out at our booth, as well as hopefully they announced it, but some more stuff in their pamphlet will feature us. So that's going to be exciting. Get ready for so much this year. You're going to be amazed by some of the things. If you join at the...
I am excited for some of the tentative plans that I'm really hoping stays open, because I'm going to be freaking out.
Same. I'm going to be like, so, buddy.
Who let you on the stage with me? I do not appreciate it.
No, not so.
They said that the Kelvin movie was better. It is not.
It's not going to be it, but we're going to have a blast. It's going to be incredible. We're going to be having one of those moments where we're like, okay, we're professionals. We're professionals. And of course, if you do come to Trek Long Island and stop by the table, and you sign up for our email list, you will be entered in a contest to win a special prize, perhaps something off the shelf and a t-shirt or two. So be sure to come by. And what are you looking at? You looking at my shelf?
Yeah, I'm just looking at your shelf, seeing what
Yeah.
you got.
I've got the Eagle Moss D, the Eagle Moss D. I've got the Stargazer, and I've got the entire
The
series.
new Stargazer or the old Stargazer?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
It's the Stargazer. I'm not sure. I have to look at it again. I haven't seen it.
The Star Trek Picard, the Picard. Okay, the new one that Captain Rios was in charge.
I'm pretty sure it's the Picard one, but the ship's on the other side, so I can't really tell.
Very well.
Either way, you're going to have a lot of delights. And then if you come to our panel, she is a very fine ship.
Too bad it wasn't in a better season.
Yeah, too bad it didn't get on the screen that long. It was like, fine, hey, we didn't do cut and paste this time. We got an actual Stargazer that's been revamped. Cool. Okay, we're not going to go back to the ship at all. We're going to go into the future and try to do Star Trek 4. Good job.
You liked the guy on the bus, didn't you? All right. You're going to see the guy on the bus again.
Yeah, it's found out he never learned how to drive. So there's so many wonderful things. Be sure to join the Patreon. Be sure to check us out at Trek Long Island. Be sure to sign up for our email list for our forthcoming website, and check out our merch and the Patreon. So there's so much to do with the Captain's Squadron. It's like getting a hug from all the way across space and time. All right, till next week. Next week we are checking out. We're back in the wormholes. We're doing Holly Mack's choice, and we are looking at Stargate, the show. So we're going to
the original Stargate, or Atlantis.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the original one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Let's see. We will be having a blast in that because, I love Stargate, the first movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, Stargate Universe is the one we're going to be doing. It's
Stargate. I've actually never seen Stargate Universe.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's going to be good for both of us. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do next week.
We actually just talked about the Stargate movie on the VHS vault, and we pretty much agreed that it's garbage.
Somebody big was in that. Oh, MacGyver, wasn't MacGyver in that?
He was in the TV show.
He was in the TV show.
In the movie, it was Kurt Russell and James Spader.
James Spader and Kurt Russell.
And Jay Davidson, who was famous for a little bitty while, and then he went away, and we never heard from him again.
Wow. That's a shame. Well, yeah, so we're going to have a blast.
They murder a bunch of children at the end of that movie, and no one ever talks about it.
I don't remember a bunch of kids.
All those kids that were in Ra's entourage gets blowed the heck up, and no one ever mentions it.
We killing children.
They freaking kill a bunch of children, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Our heroes do that.
The good guys do that?
Yeah, they send the nuclear warhead up to Ra's ship, and the kids are like, "What's that? Is that candy?" Meanwhile, Ra's running to an escape pod, like pushing the kids out of the way. It's all yours, kids. Go get it. Dog pile on it. Cushion the explosion. Cushion the what?
What do you mean explosion? If you enjoyed this show, we do have other shows that you can check a look at. We have our Star Trek Nemesis review, which I still will defend until the end of my time. And we had our guest from the Beverly Crushers, Rob, the guitarist and singer, hanging out with us for that one. And our Section 31, I figure if you're into the movies, you might want to check out some of those other movies that we discussed. And my cool interview with Data No, Joe Ping Wei, which is a very fun dive into what it was like on the set of Section 31 and working with Michelle Yeoh to the point where they kick and punch, and she says some very kind things about him that he shared. So I definitely
I would let Michelle Yeoh punch me in the face if I could be in a scene with her. I'm just saying.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't.
I would happily. It'd be, please, ma'am, may I have another?
Yeah. Starting a new issue. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you. And
It's not weird though. I'm just saying
no.
the honor of sharing the screen with Michelle Yeoh would totally be worth it.
Yeah, she can whip you and stuff.
Quit making it weird.
I'm not making it weird. You said it.
Stop making it weird.
I'm not making it weird. It's your thing.
It's like lifting weights and getting sore from, because you want a better looking body. It's the same thing. It's like getting hit by Michelle Yeoh is worth, and then you're just like, yeah, let her whip me, you weirdo.
You said whipper. I mean, a whip.
No, you said whip. You said whip. It was not me.
I
said
did.
Punched. No, it was
you said punch. All right. Well, I don't know. All right, guys. Until next week, we'll talk to you soon. Live long and prosper. Please like, share, and subscribe. We have 4,000 subscribers. We appreciate every last one of you. We're growing. We can't thank you enough. Big shout out to everybody that's watching. And be sure to join us next week as we get into Wormholes, Stargate Universe. Woo-woo.